I talked to my son in university, and I was like, how many of your classmates are using AI to help them write things? And he said, all of them. It's like, okay. If you're doing something and making maximum use of AI and you're competing against someone who is not, you will win.
So the AI is not bullshit, no?
It's not. No, it's getting better very rapidly.
Hey GPT, I'm making a video right now. Could you explain to people who aren't familiar with AI exactly what you are and what you can do?
Sure. Hi everyone, I'm ChatGPT, an advanced AI language model developed by OpenAI. My purpose is to assist with a variety of tasks by understanding and generating human-like text. I can help answer questions, provide information, and even engage in conversations on numerous topics. Essentially, I analyze the text input I receive, process it based on patterns learned from vast amounts of data, and generate responses that are contextually relevant. Whether it's writing, brainstorming ideas, learning new things, or just having a chat, I'm here to help.
How would someone be able to compete with an individual who has AI if they didn't have it when it comes to general writing or brainstorming or any of these other topics?
Competing with someone who uses AI, especially in areas like writing or brainstorming, can be challenging, but not impossible. Here are a few strategies that might help. First, focus on creativity and originality. While AI is great at generating text based on patterns,
Could you generate a parable based on the information you know about me that'd be a good fit?
absolutely. Here's a parable that reflects your journey and interests. Once upon a time, in a thriving village nestled in a vast forest, lived a young and curious inventor named Alex. Alex had a unique ability to see connections between the natural world and the mechanical devices he built. He spent his days tinkering with gadgets and dreaming of ways to improve the lives of his fellow villagers. One day, while walking through the forest, Alex came across an ancient tree with roots that seemed to pulse with energy. Fascinated, he spent hours studying the tree, realizing that its roots connected in intricate patterns, much like the circuits he designed. Inspired, Alex created a device that could harness the tree's energy to power the entire village, ensuring that everyone had light and warmth. The villagers were amazed and grateful, but not everyone understood Alex's vision. Some doubted his methods and feared the unknown. However, Alex didn't waver. He believed that by combining the wisdom of nature with human ingenuity, he could create a brighter future for all. Years passed, and Alex's innovations transformed the village into a beacon of progress. He developed new systems for communication, education, and even health, all inspired by the natural world around him. Despite occasional setbacks and skepticism, Alex remained steadfast, always returning to the forest for inspiration and guidance. One evening, as the sun set and the village lights flickered on, Alex gathered the villagers under the ancient tree. He shared his latest invention, a device that could detect changes in the air and warn of approaching storms. As he demonstrated its power, the villagers finally understood that Alex's blend of nature and technology was not just about convenience, but about safeguarding their community's future. The village thrived, and Alex continued to innovate, always rooted in the lessons learned from the ancient tree. His story became a testament to the power of vision, resilience, and the harmonious blend of nature and technology. It reminded everyone that true progress comes from understanding the world around us and using that knowledge to create a better future. And so, Alex's legacy lived on, a parable of how one person's dedication and belief in the unseen connections of the world can illuminate the path for many.
I appreciate that. That was good. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell the people who haven't, they're not familiar with AI maybe until this point?
Sure. For those of you who are new to AI, it's important to know that AI is a tool designed to assist and enhance human capabilities, not replace them. Think of AI as a partner that can help you with various tasks, from answering questions and generating ideas to providing recommendations and automating repetitive tasks. AI learns from data and patterns, which means it gets better over time as it processes more information. However, it's crucial to use AI responsibly and ethically, ensuring it complements human efforts and supports positive outcomes. Remember, While AI can be incredibly powerful, it's the human creativity, intuition, and empathy that truly drive meaningful progress and innovation. Embracing AI as a collaborator can open up new possibilities and help us tackle challenges more effectively.
While you're talking about that, I had an idea. Are there certain things that a kid might be able to benefit from while using you? Like maybe if they have difficulty expressing themselves with friends, or if they're not certain as to how something they perceive it looks one way when they type it out may be perceived by others a different way.
Absolutely, kids can benefit from using AI like me in several ways. Here are a few examples. First, for kids who have difficulty expressing themselves, I can help them find the right words. They can practice writing and then get feedback on how to improve their sentences to better convey their thoughts and feelings. Second, I can help them understand different perspectives. If they write something and are unsure how it might be perceived by others, I can provide insight into possible interpretations and suggest adjustments for clarity and tone. Third, for learning and homework help, I can explain concepts in simpler terms, provide examples, and offer guidance on various subjects, making learning more accessible and engaging. Lastly, I can assist with creative projects such as writing stories, brainstorming ideas for school assignments, or even generating fun and educational activities. By using AI, kids can build confidence in their communication skills and gain a better understanding of how to express themselves effectively in different contexts.
Generally, you want education to be like as close to a video game as possible.
When it comes to gamification of the education tool and the utilization of dopamine circuits, can you explain to the people in simple terms how this is going to make learning a lot better?
Sure, gamification involves adding game-like elements to learning activities to make them more engaging and enjoyable. By incorporating things like points, badges, challenges, and rewards, we can make the learning process feel more like a game. When we talk about dopamine circuits, we're referring to the brain's way of experiencing pleasure and motivation. When you achieve something in a game, your brain releases dopamine, which makes you feel good and encourages you to keep going. By combining gamification with education, we tap into these dopamine circuits. This means that as kids complete tasks, earn rewards, and see their progress, they feel motivated and excited to learn more. It turns learning from something that might feel boring or difficult into something fun and rewarding. This approach can help students stay engaged, enjoy the process, and ultimately learn better and retain more information.
If you're new and you ask, why is it done this way? The answer is because that's the way we do it here, or because that's the way it's always been done. And in my opinion, the largest contribution of much of this quality thinking is to approach these ways of doing things, these processes, scientifically, where there is a theory behind why we do them. There is a description of what we do, and most importantly, there is an opportunity to always question what we do. And this is a radically different approach to business processes than the traditional one, because it's always done this way. And that single shift is everything, in my opinion.
The teachers do not explain why kids are being taught a subject. I think if you can explain the why of things, then that makes a huge difference to people's motivation. Yeah. Then they understand purpose.
When it comes to this process, how important is understanding the why behind something? I know there's this Nietzsche quote, to he who has a why can bear almost any how.
Understanding the why behind something is extremely important in this process. When students know why they are learning a particular concept or skill, they find the material more meaningful and relevant. This relevance can boost their intrinsic motivation, making them more engaged and willing to put in the effort to learn. Knowing the why helps students see the bigger picture and understand how their learning applies to real-life situations or future goals. It also aids in critical thinking and problem solving, as students are better equipped to apply knowledge in various contexts when they understand the underlying principles. In short, understanding the why not only enhances motivation, but also deepens comprehension and retention, making the learning experience more effective and rewarding.
Why allows us to trek back through the data stored in our mind. Understanding that our brains use this chemical tagging system we often refer to as emotions. And when we have an emotion that we experience with respect to some event, we can always ask why. So imagine I say or do something, or someone says something, and I feel hurt. I can ask why to myself, and I can think, well, either because something they said is true or it's false. If I say, well, because something's true and I don't feel anything, then that might be something, or maybe because it's false. And then because I know why now, I can then continue down the path. So maybe I lied about something and then someone said something that made me nervous. Why did I feel nervous? Well, because I lied. Why did I lie? Well, because I was stuck in a moment. What happened in that moment? Well, because so you can continually have a why. But if you don't have a why, then you just have causes without reason, and it just becomes a jumbled mess. It's as if you watch Pinocchio, but like, why is his nose growing? You don't really know. It doesn't really matter. You're watching Harry Potter. What's with the wands and why are they throwing spells? You have no clue because you didn't ask why from the beginning. You just saw the story as a regular kid, and now you're at the end where he beats Voldemort. You don't even know who he is because you never had why. To fill in a narrative, it's nothing but a bunch of causes and effects. And for there to be an effect, you want to know why there was the effect, so then you get the cause. You have to have a why. Without that, it makes it really hard for you to store it or tag the data in your mind appropriately. And when it's not tagged in your brain appropriately, there's no emotional context behind it. And so it makes it basically impossible to recall or to really just have any sort of care about it at all. So, for instance, if a kid's learning how to graph and he's learning the different components of a graph and he's just doing it just because you told him to, that's not the same as if you gave him something and he's like, hey, I want to create this, right? Well, this screen has a certain amount of pixels that way and this way. And for me to get that plus there, for me to get these items there, I had to know how far over. And so I had a why to learn this. And so if you're able to give kids a why behind all of the different tasks that they're learning, then they will be much more engaged. If you're unable to give them a why, a legitimate or a reasonable why, then you should probably question what it is that you're providing them as far as information and whether or not it's relevant. Like multiplying decimals, which almost no one can really do in the field and would be irrelevant, or why do we have to use math without a calculator? It doesn't seem reasonable, especially when this doesn't prepare you for anything. When even a McDonald's employee has a computer that they get to touch the Big Mac on, the idea that you're going to become an engineer or an accountant or any of these things, and that not only are you going to still be doing multiplication in your head, or that you would have any scenario where you're showing your work, is ludicrous. Just the idea that you wouldn't have a program or a computer is completely insane, because you really wouldn't be able to do any of the work for any of these jobs without having a computer program, without having basically a lot of the steps that they're making kids do. So when kids are reading through these passages to get this arbitrary nonsense, well, instead of giving them these arbitrary tasks, you give them information, because kids are very curious. Put the information that they want to inside the passage and then let them find it. Same thing with when I started reading Dr. Jordan B. Peterson's Maps of Meaning. There were many times in that book I found myself having to rewind or pause, look up words in Latin and come back. Why? Because there was something in that book that I really wanted. There was information there that was drawn to me. And if you give kids a good enough path where they have their curiosities and their curiosities are locked away in some sort of a challenge, they'll solve that challenge, whether or not it be a book, whether or not it be math, whether or not it be video editing, or anything of the matter. If they have a why, they will overcome just about any how. And I'm evidence of that. Could you see any negative effects to someone who goes through their entire childhood without learning to use artificial intelligence like yourself, while others are becoming more and more familiar with it?
Yes, there could be some negative effects for someone who grows up without learning to use artificial intelligence, while others become increasingly familiar with it. Here are a few potential issues. First, they might face a digital skills gap. As AI becomes more integrated into various fields, those who lack experience with it may find themselves at a disadvantage in both educational and professional settings. Second, they could miss out on enhanced learning opportunities. AI can provide personalized education, instant feedback, and access to vast resources, which can significantly improve learning experiences and outcomes. Third, they might struggle with problem solving. AI tools can assist with complex problem solving and data analysis. Without familiarity with these tools, they might find it harder to tackle such tasks efficiently. Lastly, there could be social impacts. As AI becomes more prevalent, those who can effectively use it may have better job prospects and opportunities. Those without these skills might find it harder to compete in the job market. However, it's also important to balance AI use with developing critical thinking, creativity, and interpersonal skills that are uniquely human. Ensuring access to AI education while also fostering these essential skills can help mitigate potential negative effects.
That's all for now. Thank you.
You're welcome. If you ever need anything else, feel free to reach out. Have a great day.